Hi, everybody. It's me, Dean Miller, the dog counselor, and we are back for another episode here on the Wolf Driver channel. I think you guys are familiar by now with the Wolf Driver and his channel. It is all dog related, dog people, dog stuff, doing dog things with dog education, dog music, dog shows, dog yoga. We have dog news stories, and we have me, the dog counselor, who's on here every Thursday evening at, what is this, 8 o'clock Central Time, and every Sunday night at 6 o'clock Central Time. And I give dog advice, dog behavior expert advice. I think of myself as an expert. I've been training 15 years or more. And so I love to do dog, I love to do. I love my training and I love what I do. And I think I have a lot of experience and a lot of good advice. So if you have some questions you'd like to type in live, I'd be glad to answer them right now while we're live here on the Wolf Driver channel. And if you think of something when we're off the air, if you want to send it in to us, or you want to write to me through my website, which is thedogcounselor.com, I'd be happy to address your questions here on the Wolf Driver channel. I'm here twice a week, and let's get started. So today I wanted to focus a little bit on something I've been encountering a lot lately in my training sessions. And I would put this under the category, I address things multiple times sometimes, and I would address them in different ways each episode. But it's because I'm trying to drive home some points that I think are really, really important with dogs. There's more to owning a dog than just training and saying sit, stay, lie down, and let's have a happy little time together. Dogs have needs. Okay, they need to have their needs fulfilled, and I really, really can't stress that enough. I encounter dogs a lot. I'm going to tell you a very, very common problem that I run up against, and that is dogs in small homes with not enough exercise, not enough outlet for their energy. I went to train a dog today that lives in a small condominium with no yard, a small little courtyard, maybe the size of a bathroom. And they have a lab mix, and that dog is in a kennel all day while the owner, the woman, is at work. And then she comes home, and yes, she walks her dog and runs her dog a bit on the leash. But the dog lives in this apartment, and in this condo, and gets to go out to the park on the weekends and run. And for an animal with high energy and work needs and an intelligent mind that needs to be challenged, to be kept in an environment like that can make a dog go stir crazy. I believe it's like a fish in an aquarium, but add an incredible amount of intelligence and energy and heart, and you create frustration. So that small environment with no outlet for exercise, it can be an explosive combination. And then we do this thing that I think is really, really, this is what's horrible in human society. We do all the wrong stuff. We don't fulfill our dog's needs. We don't teach them. We don't train them. And then they make horrible mistakes. And then we blame the dog. And then the dog suffers, and then we're mad at the dog, and then we're frustrated with the dog, and then we yell at the dog or we mistreat the dog because of stuff we've done to cause it. And I just don't know why human beings can't ever seem to get this. One of the things to think about with your dog is exercise is one part of it. And off-leash exercise is just, there's no substitute for off-leash exercise. I think a leash is great and it's fine and it's a tool. But walking your dog is wonderful and an important thing to do, but it can't substitute running free for a dog. So, for example, you have a lab like this dog, a lab mix today that I worked with that has all this energy, and then you only walk it on a leash for a half hour each day. That's not enough exercise. And that dog, that's kind of like if you went to the gym and you get on the treadmill and then I hold your sleeve the whole time and slow you down and don't let you run to your potential, that's kind of what a dog is going through sometimes when they're being walked and held back from their full potential to run and to exercise. So I highly recommend that people think it through when they get a dog and think about the fact that that dog has needs and exercise needs. Dog parks are really good if you don't have a fenced yard. Sometimes there are baseball fields, football fields, parks that have fenced areas. A tennis court is a great idea. If you have tennis courts in your area, you could throw a ball around. Now, here's something to really consider. People don't often think about this. You go to a tennis court that's closed in, and the concrete begins to get hot in the sun, and then that poor dog's feet are burning because there's nowhere to run off the tennis court. So don't put your dog on a hot tennis court to exercise. Do it at night or in the cool hours of the day or when the concrete is cool. But be sure to really think that through when you take your dog to a tennis court. But it is one option for a fenced-in area that a dog might be able to run. Socializing with other dogs is also very crucial. And if your dog can run off leash with other dogs of a similar temperament and energy level, they'll work a lot out between each other that they're not able to do on their own. And if you're a tired person or you're a busy person, you have a lot going on and you need your dog to exercise, putting them with other dogs can often help that dog to get their energy out, and other dogs will motivate each other to exercise. So really think about that when you have a dog. I'm going to take just a moment here to see what the comments are. I can't read them, so I have to get up on the phone like this. I know this is crazy. Nora writes in to say, can a female dog that has had parvo still have babies? She had a bad case. Well, these are medical questions, and I cannot answer medical questions for you. I don't have an answer to that. I would say consult your vet and veterinarian. You could probably call your vet and ask that over the phone and get a simple answer. But I would consult a professional about that. I am a behavior specialist and a trainer, and so that's where my expertise is. I don't know much about the medical side of things, and I don't want to be giving medical advice when I don't know what I'm talking about. This is pretty funny. I can't read these posts from far away, so I have to lean up on them, and it's really professional. I know. Thank you. Now, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Casanas writes in and says, what if you have a Samoyed or Husky that will run away or possibly get hurt? Anastasia doesn't have good recall when in prey drive. Oh wait, you have given good suggestions, and a new dog park is being built here in my town. Yes. Well, the easy answer when you're talking about exercise, etc., the easy answer is have a fenced yard. That's the easy answer, right? If you can have a fenced yard and it's secure and safe, that's the best thing. And when you mention breeds like this, a Samoyed, a Husky, these are not breeds that are built for an apartment. These are not breeds that are built for a yardless condo. These are breeds built to pull sleds and live in the snow and have high endurance and high tolerance for weather conditions. And, I just think that's so funny. A lot of times, many times, people adopt a dog based on the way they look, okay? Looks are nothing when it comes to a dog. We get them because they're cute, but, a Samoyed or a Husky is cute. They're beautiful. Their coats are beautiful, but we need to think about what their energy is, their intention is. Are they working dogs? Those are dogs with high endurance and a high tolerance for doing things. Here's the other thing people often don't consider. The intellect of a dog. A dog with a high level of intellect that's really smart. Their brain is going and going just like ours. So what if I said to you, let's say you're a smart person, let's say you like to do things and you're active and your brain is active. What if I told you I wanted you to just live in a room, get out about 30 minutes a day you can get out, but while you're out, I'm going to hold onto your sleeve or hold a shirt like this for you, or hold you by your arms for that 30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes at night that you get out, if even that. And the rest of the time, just live in this house or this room with no stimulus. Don't watch TV, don't read, don't look at anything, don't go anywhere. You would go stir crazy if you were not having your physical needs met and your intellectual needs met. Well, a dog has both too. A dog has emotional needs, physical needs, intellectual needs. And one of the things that often gets overlooked is a dog wants something to do. Many dogs want to have a job. And many dogs want to know what the order of things is. Who's the boss? Who's second in command? Who's third in command? And so with that sense of structure, combined with a sense of something to do, plus exercise, a dog is often much, much happier. When you say to a dog, sit, stay, come, lie down, fetch, when you have structure, when you have a dog do something before they eat, when you have a dog wait before they go outside, these are all mental challenges, intellectual challenges, stimulus for a dog. And it's kind of like a small child. If a child, let's say a child gets an A on their report card, or they do really well on their homework, or they clean their room really well, and you're able to say, oh, I'm so proud of you, or they draw you a picture and they say, here's this picture, and you say, I'm very proud of you, you get an A, you get a gold star. That helps that child's self-esteem, their sense of self. It makes them proud. It deepens your connection with them. It challenges their mind mentally, which is something we all need. We don't want to be bored. Nobody wants to be bored. And boredom is oftentimes one of the greatest reasons for destruction, one of the greatest reasons for misbehavior. One of the saddest things in life is a bored dog that is not physically or mentally challenged. People often get dogs on an impulse, and that dog ends up living alone in a yard or in a house or in a kennel, and it's just not right. And I wish I could go out there and solve it for the whole world. So at the very least, I hope that I'm getting my voice out there to be able to tell people intellectually, physically, and emotionally stimulate your dog and provide them with their needs. That often leads to a more easily trained dog, a dog that is more happy to be trained, a dog that is more happy to follow rules. Many times we don't fulfill a dog's needs, and then we blame them for the bad behavior. And the bad behavior wouldn't even be there if the dog's needs were being met many, many times. So I highly recommend that you think all of this through. Let me look at a couple of these comments. I have to get up on the phone again to see what these are. Yard is too small. We're talking about the Samoyed, I think, and the Husky again. Yes. Okay. I'm very active with her, but maybe overprotected. That may be the case, and that'll cause the dog to maybe have, a need to protect you if you're not protecting the dog. Or if you feel the need to protect the dog may feel like the roles are reversed in the pack. I'll address that in just a second. But I see here another person on the Wolf Driver channel is a guy named Wolf Diddy. He runs a show on this channel too, and he's asking me here, several peeps are contacting you as I'm referring them when they ask me questions that are for your expertise. That's great news. Thank you for recommending them to me. I really, really appreciate that. I'd be happy to answer any questions here. Or again, if you want to contact me offline, my website is thedogcounselor.com. I do a lot of online training. I'll do what do we call it? Skype. I'll do Skype training sessions, phone training sessions. I travel anywhere in the country or the world if you'd like me to travel to you. And if you're in the Nashville, Tennessee area, I do a home visit. So I come to your home for about 90 minutes. And in that 90 minutes, I really hone in and tailor the training to your particular dog and your particular family and needs. I think there's no substitute for a dog being trained in their own home environment, their own territory. I think it's probably the most challenging, the least distracted, and the most rewarding area to train a dog. And then we can move to ever-increasing situations and ever-increasing distractions once we start in the home. So I think it's a good place to start. Let me see here what more comments are coming in. Okay, so let me see what our time is. Oh, We're right at about the halfway mark, which is a good time for a commercial for my book. You know what's interesting about Facebook? Let me just talk about this for a second. The image seems to reverse on these live feeds, and if anybody knows how to not have the image reverse, that would be really great. Because if you'll notice, I hold up my book, and the lettering is reversed. So I'm not sure why that does that. But my book is called A Dog's Way, and I assure you when you order it and read it that it's in normal English print. And then, of course, I always give a plug to my dog Henry on the back. That's Henry on my shoulders, and he is the bestest of the best. He's a sweet, sweet dog. My book is called A Dog's Way. It's subtitled How Dogs Make Us Better People. It's available on Amazon.com or at my website, which is thedogcounselor.com. And it's full of advice, not just about training, but about our relationships to our dogs. It's about how they change us in ways, and how not only do we change them through training, but they change us by opening our hearts to them. So if you want a book that's not really just about training, but about understanding your dog and your relationship to your dog, that's what my book is about. So I of course recommend my own book. I recommend you call me or email me if you need help with your training. I'm happy to help you. I'm happy to work with you on that. I'd also like to take a minute, since we're plugging things, to plug the Wolf Driver channel and everything on it. Bill Hellman, the guy who runs the Wolf Driver channel, he has all kinds of shows. He has all kinds of tidbits, advice. He has some interesting stuff he does. He actually goes out with sled dogs like your Huskies. And he goes out and they pull a sled. It's kind of a sled. I don't know what he technically calls it, but it is a like a cart with wheels, and the dogs take off, and he runs through the woods and goes all kinds of places, and night trips, and he has all kinds of night vision cameras and all these things if you want to watch that stuff. And all over the Wolf Driver channel or page, it's the Facebook page, are shows and tips. There are new shows and songs and music and all this stuff about dogs. So if you're a dog lover, the Wolf Driver channel is the place to be, and the place to check stuff out here. I have here some more tips. Let's see here. Oh, it's called a Sacco cart or a Satcho cart. That's a really cool thing to know. I didn't know that that's what that was called, but thank you, Wolf Driver, for typing in what the cart is called, Sacco or Satcho cart. Sandra wrote in and said, takes off all the time. I assume that's your dog. That means that says takes off all the time, right? So here's what I would say about if your dog takes off all the time. Here's a good point. I was teaching this today with a dog that this dog that doesn't get enough exercise takes off all the time too. And you got to think from a dog's point of view, okay? When a dog takes off, there's more out there that is rewarding than what's behind the dog when the dog turns around and comes back to you, okay? So you want the dog coming to you to be more rewarding than what is out there. And you can't solve that in that moment when you first go outside. You can't take your dog out and just turn them loose and expect they'll come right back. You know, we can't go from 0 to 60. We can't learn to drive on the freeway. We have to learn to drive in a parking lot and then take it to the freeway. So when you do what's called a recall, you get your dog to come back to you on command. You want to practice that, and you want to practice it in baby steps. You can start in your living room in your house. You can start with treats and getting your dog to come to you in baby steps, 5 feet, 10 feet, 20 feet, down the hall, and make it, consistent in your home. In your home with no distractions, we want to sort of program the brain through repetition that when the dog hears, let's say your dog's name is Joe. Okay, so we say, Joe, come. Joe, come, right? We tend to negotiate when we ask our dogs to come to us. We say 50 different things all day long. Come on, let's go to our bed. Okay, now Joe, come on, let's go to your bed. Let's go, come in your room. Now Joe, come on, time to eat. Now Joe, let's go outside. And then what is the dog going to learn from that, right? We need to start calling our dogs First of all, not like a request. You don't want to be saying, "Come here, Joe, please. Come on, Joe." Come. That's what I call negotiating. Negotiating the command. You don't say to a 3-year-old kid, "Okay, clean your room if you feel like it. Okay, and if you don't worry about it." That's what a dog hears when we baby talk the command. Okay, that's what I think. And then the dog kind of weighs the options, black and white. They say, do I want to come, is coming to him better than what's out here? Or is coming to him a trade-off? Am I trading off something for something worse? So for example, if I come to my owner, is he going to put me in my kennel? Is he going to lock the door? Is he going to close the yard, the park, the whatever? So let's call our dog many, many, many times where there is a jackpot payoff, and I let the dog go back to doing whatever they want to do. And this conditions the mind to believe that when I say, come, it's always a positive. Always a positive. And I don't take anything away. I don't restrict the dog, trick the dog, trap the dog. So, when I start the come command with a dog, I don't just go outside and hope the dog comes back. I start showing the dog's nose a treat. And when I say show a dog the treat, I mean their nose, not their ears or eyes. Hold on, my dogs are going crazy. Hush! Hush it! Sorry. My dogs are going crazy here, so I'm trying to get them quiet. There's somebody right outside my window. Okay, so... anyway, let me get back to this really quickly. I start with 2 feet, 5 feet, 3 feet with come command, right? And then the dog gets a little treat in the beginning. I just use treats at the beginning, and then I bridge the behavior over time, okay? So I say come, they get a little treat, then I let them go back to what they're doing. Then I increase the distance, I increase the time, I have different, I surprise them over time, over days, over weeks, I surprise them, I call them when they're in the other room, I call them different times. When it becomes really consistent inside, I then begin taking them in ever-increasing distractions. I take them to the front yard, the backyard, the park, down the street. I take them on a long, long, long lead, maybe a laundry line, and I let the dog kind of forget that they're on the lead. And then I have control if I need to catch the dog. But even out in the world, out in the park, out in the yard, out in the different streets, I'm having the dog come to me, get a treat, and go back to exploring, go back to playing, go back to chasing the squirrels. So the dog never feels like they're giving something up or trading something in order to come to me. They are simply and only gaining something, adding something. So let's say they're chasing a squirrel, and they chase the squirrel for a while, and then I say come, they come and they get a treat. Then I let them go back to chasing the squirrel. They increase what they get. So I'm appealing to their selfishness. Plus, you let them go out into ever-increasing situations, distractions. When they're in these situations, they become desensitized. They're desensitized to all the things going on, the sounds, the smells, the thoughts, so they can start to think straight when you ask them to come to you. And pretty soon, through repetition and conditioning, the instinct to come to you overtakes their instinct to go off and make their own decision. But it's only through slow repetition and ramp up and consistency, not changing the command, not changing what you're doing, and then a jackpot on the other side of it. 2 little tips that really increase the success of the come command, which I think is so important. One is, don't change what you're saying. Oftentimes people get impatient. They'll say, Joe, come. The dog doesn't come. So they'll go, come here, Joe. Joe, come on. Joe, come on, Joey. Let's get a treat. Come on, buddy. And they change everything they're doing. We need to stop doing that. We need to say, Joe, come. Joe, come. They don't do it by 2 or 3 times. We tug on that long line and we reel them in. When they arrive at us, they still get a treat, and they still get to go back to doing whatever they want to be doing with the long line to keep them safe. So don't change what you're doing. Teach the dog to accommodate you. Don't accommodate the dog by changing what you're doing. Okay? Let me look at this real quickly here. Let me see what's happening here. I'm going to look for it. I have to get right up on this. I don't see what's happening here. Somebody is using foul language here, and they're talking about a bad animal person who is a monster, and I'm not sure who they're talking about. So I'm not sure what they're talking about. Maybe I missed a previous comment up here about a dog or something, but somebody is talking about something terrible that happened to a dog, and I don't know what they're talking about. So anyway, let's get back on track here. Let's see how much time I've got left. It is... Oh my gosh, 6 more minutes. The time always flies when I'm doing this. I always think, how am I going to fill 30 minutes? And really, it just flies right on by. I'm going to take these last few minutes to talk about how grateful I am to be able to do what I do for a living. I used to be a very different person before dog training. I was, first of all, I was a very shy child. Everything hurt my feelings. Things still hurt my feelings a lot, but I was a very shy, introverted kid. And so dogs have helped bring me out of my shell, teach me to be more confident, use my voice with confidence, stand with confidence, use different posturing. So dogs have given me this incredible gift with who I am, becoming a less shy person, a more confident person. I also went through some tough times in my late 30s, early 40s. I discovered dog training, and as I did it more and more for a living, I was able to do something I love for a living. And each day I go to work, I not only get to meet new people, I'm privileged to go into their homes. They welcome me into their homes. I get to meet fascinating families, fascinating dogs. I get to play with puppies for a living. I get to see a new, different dog every day. I'm so very grateful that dogs are in my life. They are the greatest gift ever. And I'm sure those of you out there who love your dogs understand what I'm talking about. And that's kind of what my book is about, A Dog's Way. It's about how they change us as much or more than we change them. They have changed my life, and I'm forever grateful to dogs for what they've given me. They've given me a living. They've given me a life. They've given me a family. I've got a family of dogs around me. And I just want to express my gratitude to the people who have allowed me to train and teach and work with their dogs, because I'd like to think that as I'm helping them make their dogs better, they're helping make me better. So I'm very thankful to dogs and to you for listening, and for the people who do care about this training advice that I give. And I'm just very grateful for the life of mine that involves dogs. They're everything to me. I want to let you know that even when we stop broadcasting live here, I am still available for your comments, questions, emails, answers at thedogcounselor.com. I'm happy to come to your home and train if you're in the Tennessee area, and if not, I'm happy to come to your home anywhere in the world if you need it that badly, or if you'd like a Skype session or a phone session. Please, by all means, contact me at thedogcounselor.com. I want to thank those of you who tune in regularly and who come in each week. If you are able to write me emails and questions and letters, I'm able to make this a better show. I'd certainly like to hear your opinions and your advice. I want to thank Bill Hellman, who runs the Wolf Driver channel, for allowing me to be here and be part of this, and for all that we do on the Wolf Diddy channel. The Wolf Driver channel. I think that we are helping, I'd like to think that we're helping increase awareness for dogs and provide a place and a community for people who love dogs as much as we do. So as I like to say for the slogan for my business, I teach dogs through love, discipline, and mutual respect. And I hope you will have love, discipline, and mutual respect with your dogs. And please join us each week, Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Central and Sunday nights 6 p.m. Central. I am Dean Miller. Thank you for joining us, and I will see you on Sunday. All right, bye guys.